I want you to imagine something with me. You wake up one morning, reach for your phone, check your balance, and feel that familiar rush of tightness in your chest. That quiet thought, if I just had a little more, then I could finally relax. That single thought has kept millions trapped for their entire lives. Because every time you say, once I have it, you whisper to the universe, I don't. And the universe, perfectly obedient, mirrors that belief right back to you. We've all been taught that money will make us feel safe, free, confident. But what if the truth is the exact opposite? What if feeling safe, free, and confident is what actually brings money? That's the law almost no one was ever told. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. You'll see why trying to get rich keeps you broke, and you'll discover 3 simple things that make you feel rich before you are. The same 3 that Jesus demonstrated, Neville Goddard revealed, and Dr. Joe Dispenza can actually measure inside the brain. When you understand and practice these 3, your energy shifts from chasing money to commanding it. You'll stop asking when it's coming and start realizing it already has. You don't feel rich because you have money. You have money because you feel rich. And the day you finally understand that, everything changes. I used to think wealth was about what you earned. Then I started studying people who seemed to magnetize abundance out of thin air. Some had no college degree, no big opportunities, no perfect plan. Yet money flowed to them like water finds the ocean. They weren't hustling harder, they were vibrating differently. Jesus hinted at it when he said, "To those who have, more will be given." Neville Goddard explained it as feeling the wish fulfilled. Dr. Joe Dispenza proved it by measuring what happens inside the brain and heart when you feel abundance before it arrives. They were all pointing to the same doorway. State of being creates reality. But here's what nobody tells you. Most people never even step near that doorway. They think about wealth, talk about wealth, chase wealth, but they never feel wealth. Inside, they're still carrying the vibration of not enough. They look at the bills on the table, the notifications, the endless to-do lists, and their whole body broadcasts fear. Then they try to manifest from that signal. It's like trying to tune in to sunlight on a frequency of thunder. Feeling isn't a side note in manifestation. It's the entire language of it. It's how the invisible recognizes what you're asking for. Neville called it the secret of assumption. Dr. Joe calls it elevated emotion. Different words, same power. What you feel as real must harden into fact. And yet, most people wait for permission. They wait for the paycheck to feel generous. They wait for the new house to feel grateful. They wait for the proof to feel free. That's backwards. Life isn't waiting to give you the reason to feel rich. It's waiting for you to feel rich so it can show you the reason. I remember the first time this truth really landed. It wasn't during some meditation retreat or big breakthrough. It was a random afternoon. I was broke, frustrated, sitting on a park bench, and for some reason, I just stopped fighting the moment. I breathed. I looked up, and I whispered, "You know what? I'm okay. Right now I have enough air, enough sunlight, enough life." For 10 seconds, I felt free. And I swear to you, that small pocket of peace changed everything. 2 days later, an unexpected call. A collaboration. A door that had been closed for months suddenly opened. It wasn't coincidence, it was coherence. Because the universe doesn't respond to words, it responds to frequency. And for the first time, my frequency said, "I already have." That's the power you've forgotten. You don't have to fake wealth, you have to feel it. And the feeling isn't in the stuff, it's in the stillness that knows. I'm supported. I'm safe. I'm part of something infinite. Close your eyes for a second and test it. Imagine every bill paid, every debt cleared, every need handled. How would you breathe? How would you walk? How would you treat the people you love? That emotion right there, that warm, calm, grateful hum, is the exact vibration of real wealth. And the moment you can feel it before you see it, you start collapsing time. That's what Jesus meant by giving thanks before the miracle. That's what Neville meant by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That's what Dr. Joe means when he says, your body must learn what the future feels like before it happens. So tonight, instead of worrying about the number in your account, start tuning your inner frequency. When your mind says, not enough, your heart can whisper, but I'm still breathing. When your body tightens in fear, exhale gratitude, because gratitude is the evidence that you already have what matters most. And slowly, that gratitude becomes magnetic. Money begins to recognize your energy. Opportunities start orbiting you, not because you're chasing, but because you finally remembered how to feel first. If this is already stirring something inside you, that little spark of recognition, stay with it. That feeling means you're remembering truth. And if you haven't yet, subscribe right now. Not out of habit, but as a declaration that you're ready to live from power instead of pressure. Because what's coming next will show you exactly how to anchor that feeling until wealth has no choice but to mirror it. Take a breath. Let's go deeper. You've heard me say that money doesn't come because you chase it. It comes when your energy remembers that it already belongs to you. But how do you feel rich when your eyes still see lack? When your mind keeps whispering, be realistic? That's where the practice begins. Not in trying, but in tuning. Let's start with the first tuning fork of abundance, gratitude. And I don't mean the kind you write down once and forget. I mean the kind that changes the air in the room, the kind that makes you feel, even for a moment, that you already live in the answer to a prayer. Every teacher who ever touched truth used gratitude like a key. When Jesus held those few loaves of bread, he didn't beg for more. He looked at what he had, gave thanks, and creation multiplied it. He wasn't performing magic. He was aligning with law, because gratitude doesn't wait for evidence. It creates evidence. It tells the universe, I already have. So tomorrow morning, before your phone, before your thoughts, whisper this quietly. Thank you that I am supported. Thank you that money already knows my name. Thank you that abundance recognizes me today. Say it until you feel it, until your shoulders drop, until your breath slows. That moment of peace is your signal to the universe. Transmission received. Neville Goddard called it the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Dr. Joe Dispenza calls it elevated emotion. Different language, same current. When you feel gratitude before the evidence, reality scrambles to provide the evidence. Do this for 7 days. By the third, something tiny will shift. A refund, a favor, a smile that lands perfectly. By the 7th, you'll catch yourself expecting good things without even trying. That's not coincidence. That's coherence. Because gratitude opens the door. It changes your body chemistry, your electromagnetic field, your decisions. And when that happens, opportunities notice you. Not because you're lucky, but because you're tuned. Now the second tuning fork, embodiment. This one isn't about words at all. It's about being. Close your eyes for a moment and picture the wealthiest version of you. Not rich in appearance, rich in peace. See how they move, how they breathe, how they handle life. That version doesn't rush, doesn't chase, doesn't beg. They assume the outcome is already theirs. That version lives inside you right now. Stop treating them like a future goal. Step into them like a suit that already fits. Tomorrow, when you walk down the street, walk like that person. When you speak, speak from their calm certainty. When you pay a bill, don't whisper, money's leaving me. Smile quietly and think, I'm circulating wealth. Neville said, you must occupy the state until it occupies you. And Dr. Joe Dispenza proved it. When people emotionally rehearse their future long enough, their brain and heart waves shift to the pattern of that future before it happens. So you don't have to fake confidence. You have to practice coherence. Every time you live one small detail of that version of you, your nervous system updates its script. The body learns, this is who we are now. And once the body believes it, the world believes it. Because reality mirrors identity, not effort. When you embody the version of you who already has, you stop chasing. You start attracting. Your actions change naturally. You walk into rooms differently, you speak differently, people respond differently. You become magnetic without trying. It's the art of giving, of releasing, of allowing energy to circulate. And that's exactly where we're going next. If this message is stirring something in you, that calm mix of peace and possibility, hold on to it. That feeling means you're already shifting. And before we move into the third and final key, pause for a second and subscribe right now. Not because of numbers, but because this space is designed to keep you tuned to this frequency every week. You've practiced gratitude. You've begun to embody abundance. Now comes the secret almost everyone ignores, the one that completes the circuit. Giving. Not charity, not sacrifice. Giving as an act of spiritual power, because every time you give, you announce to the universe, I have more than enough. That sentence alone separates two kinds of people forever. The ones who wait for proof of abundance and the ones who create it. I want to tell you a story. Years ago, a man stood in line at a cafe counting the coins in his pocket. He had just enough for his coffee, not a cent more. In front of him, a woman ordered, realized she'd left her wallet, and started apologizing. Without thinking, the man handed the barista all his coins and said, It's fine, I've got it. He walked out with nothing but a smile, and later that day received a call about a job he'd applied for months earlier. Now, you might say, that's coincidence. But coincidence is the universe's favorite disguise. That single act of giving told life, I trust the flow. And the flow responded instantly. When you hold tightly to what little you have, you broadcast lack. When you share, you broadcast security. And the universe always mirrors the louder signal. It's energy symmetry, in and out, give and return. You inhale, you exhale. The ocean pulls back, then waves rush forward again. Even your heartbeat expands and contracts in rhythm. All life moves in this divine pulse. Money is part of that rhythm. When you hold it too tight, the flow stops. When you circulate it with trust, it finds its way back multiplied. You see, giving is not about the amount. It's about the state you're in when you do it. You could hand someone 1,000 euros and still feel empty, or give €1 and vibrate infinite wealth. Because real giving has nothing to do with what leaves your hand. It's about what stays in your heart. There's a reason Jesus said, Give, and it shall be given unto you. He wasn't describing moral virtue. He was describing spiritual physics. Energy must complete its circuit. Neville Goddard described it differently. He said, Everything you give away in imagination, you receive multiplied in form. That's the hidden secret. When you imagine others blessed, you are secretly blessing yourself. So when you give, money, time, energy, love, see yourself as a channel, not a source. You're not losing anything. You're proving to your subconscious that you are connected to an infinite supply. Dr. Joe Dispenza would call this coherence. The heart and brain move into harmony when you feel genuine care for others. In that moment, your electromagnetic field expands dramatically, sometimes measurable up to 3 meters beyond the body. And that field is what interacts with reality. You start meeting people at the exact right time. Opportunities appear from nowhere. Creative ideas pour in. That's not luck. That's the return wave of giving. Let me give you a small challenge. For the next 7 days, give once a day. It doesn't matter what. A smile, a message, a helping hand, a cup of coffee. Do it intentionally. And as you give, whisper internally, I live in overflow. You'll be shocked how fast energy moves. By day 3, something will come back. Maybe small, maybe enormous. By day 7, you'll understand why masters never worried about provision, because they were always feeding the flow. You can't outgive a universe that only knows how to multiply. There's a second layer to giving that most never see. When you give, you heal the hidden belief that says, I don't have enough. Every act becomes a microtherapy session for your subconscious. Each time you share, your nervous system feels safe again. It says, "Look, we gave, and we're still alive. We're still okay." And that safety is priceless. Because once your body feels safe, creation can finally happen. Fear closes the circuit. Trust reopens it. This is why people who seem endlessly lucky often give quietly. They know that generosity keeps the current alive, and the form of giving doesn't matter. Maybe you give compliments easily. Maybe you mentor someone for free. Maybe you start blessing the people who trigger you. Each one counts. Because energy doesn't care about size, only sincerity. Now imagine this. You're walking down the street and you see someone struggling. Without hesitation, you help. In that moment, time slows. You feel lighter, brighter, present. That emotion, that warmth spreading through your chest, is wealth in motion. You've just experienced what true abundance feels like. And that's what draws more to you. When you give, you shift from "what can I get" to "what can I offer?" That single thought takes you from the vibration of lack to the vibration of power. Because the most magnetic energy in the universe is the one that already feels complete. Now here's something most don't realize. The moment you give, you set off a sequence of invisible events. Someone smiles because of you. That smile softens their next conversation. That conversation helps someone else make a decision. That decision ripples back to you in a form you could never trace. A new client, a message, a miracle. You started it. You sent out the frequency, and the world rearranged itself. That's what it means to live as a creator instead of a consumer. To trust that giving is never loss. So, start small. Buy someone coffee. Share a video that lifted you. Give from joy, not duty. And whisper, "I live in overflow." Then watch what happens. Because giving, when done from fullness, triggers the law that no one can escape: return. And what returns is always greater than what left. The currency of this universe is not money, it's energy. And giving is how you remind life that your account is infinite. Now pause for a second. Feel your heartbeat. That pulse is proof of the law. Give, receive, give, receive. The rhythm never ends. That same pulse moves through everything. The trees exhale oxygen. You inhale it. You exhale carbon dioxide. They inhale that. Even your body knows the truth. Circulation is survival. When you give, you join that rhythm consciously. And the universe recognizes your signal instantly. This one remembers the flow. That's why miracles find givers faster. Not because they're lucky, but because they're open. So if this message is touching something deep inside you, stay here a little longer. Let the calm spread through you. Because in the next segment, we'll move into the most effortless step of all, where you stop forcing and finally let the energy return multiplied. And, before we go there, take a breath, and if you haven't yet, subscribe right now. This channel isn't about chasing goals, it's about remembering the laws that make goals chase you. Every week, we rise higher together. Gratitude, embodiment, giving, rest. That's the rhythm of creation. Now, get ready for the final chapter. The one where you learn to receive. You've practiced gratitude. You've learned to embody wealth. You've opened the flow through giving. Now comes the step most people never master: receiving. It sounds simple, but receiving isn't about taking. It's about allowing. It's what happens when you finally stop gripping life with anxious hands and realize it's already trying to give to you. Every morning, the sun rises without your permission. Your heart beats without your command. Air fills your lungs before you even think of it. Life has been giving to you since the beginning. Receiving just means remembering that truth. But somewhere along the way, you were taught that it's safer to expect little. That if you stop worrying, something will go wrong. That if you relax, you'll lose control. And so you trained your nervous system to block what's already yours. You said prayers for abundance while secretly bracing for disappointment. You asked for miracles with clenched fists. And that tension became the wall between you and what you wanted most. But here's the paradox. The moment you let go, everything starts to move. Because surrender isn't weakness, it's alignment. When Jesus said, "Your Father knows what you need before you ask," he was describing this very law. The source, the field, the universe, whatever you want to call it, doesn't wait for your struggle to begin working. It's already moving on your behalf. Your only job is to get out of the way. Neville Goddard called it living in the end. He said, "Rest in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled." Dr. Joe Dispenza describes it as surrendering into the field of infinite possibilities, not by giving up, but by finally trusting. So right now, wherever you are, take a deep breath. Let your shoulders drop and whisper, "It's done." Because it is. The second you believed it started unfolding. Rest doesn't mean you stop acting. It means your actions stop coming from fear. You make decisions from peace, not panic. You move with flow, not force. When you rest, you give life permission to show you just how much easier it can be. You'll notice things lining up on their own, timing that feels impossible to plan, emails arriving at the perfect hour, people crossing your path as if on cue. That's the rhythm of divine order. You didn't attract it through hustle. You remembered it through surrender. That's why true manifestors don't check their progress every 5 minutes. They rest, they trust, and they let the invisible become visible in its own timing. Think about a seed planted in soil. You can't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You water it, you let the sun hit it, you trust it. And one day, you see the first sprout, fragile but inevitable. Your manifestations work the same way. You've already planted the seed through feeling. Now it's time to water it with rest. Every moment you feel at peace, you're nourishing that seed. Every breath that says, "It's already mine," is sunlight on its growth. And suddenly, what you used to chase starts finding you. Because now your energy says, "I am ready." Receiving is the easiest step, yet it feels the hardest. Because to truly receive, you must stop trying. You must stop proving. You must stop doubting whether you're worthy. But the truth is, you were worthy before you even asked. Before you wrote your first affirmation. Before your first prayer. Before you took your first breath. You are enough. Money doesn't make you worthy. Worthiness makes money appear. So, when the next unexpected deposit arrives, when the phone rings with good news, when life bends to your belief, don't be surprised. Just smile, look up, and say, "Of course," because this is who you've been all along. Thank you for watching. If this video spoke to you, write in the comments, "I am open to receive." Make it your seal, your declaration, your reminder. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. Join this space where every word is designed to rewire your reality. You are abundance in motion. You are the flow remembering itself. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.